The federal budget has been handed down for another year, bringing with it a huge range of financial changes for Queenslanders. With so much information, the positives and negatives can be difficult to understand. So to help us break down the real winners and losers, we're joined by Olivia Maragna from Aspire Retire. Olivia, thanks very much for your time. Look, we all want a couple of extra dollars in our pockets, so how do Queenslanders get the most out of this year's budget?
Well, I think the biggest headline act from last night was tax cuts. So that's a great incentive for a lot of people, all the way up to around about $200,000 worth of income. Now, a lot of people are talking about a $10 a week bonus. That is only part of it. So it's a three-phase tax plan. So to give you some examples, if you're on $50,000 a year, the extra tax cuts you're going to get is around about $3,500 a year over 7 years. On about $90,000, it's going to be about $5,000, and on $120,000, it's on average $7,000 over those 7 years. So a lot more than what that headline benefit is of $10 a week. How do we make the most of it? Pay off some debt, credit cards, mortgages, and maybe adding it into your superannuation as well.
You mentioned superannuation. What does the budget mean for super funds?
Well, some great news for self-funded, so self-managed super funds effectively. So some decrease in costs. So auditor fees are going to come down from that point of view. Increase in numbers of people who you can have in a self-managed super fund from 4 to 6. And great news for members who have under $300,000 in superannuation. The government's going to allow you to put extra money into super even after the year you retire. So no work test after the year you retire between the ages of 65 and 74. So some great news there for, great balances in superannuation. For younger Australians, the biggest gripes, fees coming out of superannuation and obviously multiple superannuation funds. The government's introducing an abolishment of exit fees on consolidating your super, which is fantastic news. They're going to legislate younger people having to opt in to pay for insurance as opposed to those insurance premiums automatically coming out of their superannuation, and some great incentives to consolidate super. So the government's going to put some extra funds towards reuniting superannuation with the taxpayer.
A lot was mentioned before the budget was handed down as to the benefits for older Australians. What's in it for them?
I think there's a lot for older Australians. So in terms of a work bonus plan, so you get to earn more money without it affecting your age pension, which is great news. The pension loan scheme, which is currently only available for part-age pensioners, it's now opening up to full-age pensioners and self-funded retirees as well. But some great news in terms of pharmaceutical benefits and at-home packages, which really entices people to stay at home and be cared at home. So some great news there, I think, for older Australians. Maybe not as much as what a lot of people would hope, particularly with those at-home care packages, but great news there.
Well, we always want more, don't we? Just quickly, any traps we should be aware of?
Well, look, I think vacant land owners are a big one. So if you've got vacant land and you're claiming tax deductions, the government's cracking down on that. They're going to start abolishing tax deductions if you don't have an intention of earning income on that. The cash economy, be aware, from 1st of July, there's going to be restrictions there as well. And look, besides New Start allowance, there was a call to increase New Start allowance. That didn't come through. That's probably the big disappointment.
Olivia, plenty to get through, wasn't there?
Thank you.
Thanks very much.